Can we just be real? Let's just be freaking real. It's a kid trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, trying to stay alive. Remember, guys, shout out to your boys. Remember, head up to that website, football.com for all of that football goodness. So, guys, let's keep it a stack. 7 piece. So, let's see. So, what did I say? So, the 23rd in the world ranked women's team, Switzerland, lost 7-1 in a friendly match against Swiss team Luzerne's Under-15 boys team. So the way this is framed is as if this is a shock. I was like, oh my gosh, what's a shock? And that's not shocking. It's not shocking. So I think I've said this before. My school was one of the best football schools in the country. Like we were known as a footballing school. So our coaches were amazing, and the players that we would acquire were amazing. So if you were like an amazing player, you came to a school, and we had a guy called Luke Webb, who, if not for injuries, he could have played for Arsenal. So he was 14, and at 14 years old, bro, this again, he's the best football player I've ever seen, like for real. And if not for injuries, he would have been played for Arsenal. He was literally in the Arsenal academy, but because of injuries, he never said, well, what's up? And that guy, Luke Webb, at 14 years old, is better than any female player that I've ever seen. Every female player I've seen, that 14-year-old Luke Webb is better than every player. So our under-15 team would decimate and destroy the best women's team. And it's not shocking. This isn't shocking. So how this has been viewed as some kind of shock or anything isn't. And I think that when people, I feel that this shouldn't even be done, because what this does is it just adds to the negativity towards women's football, which doesn't need to happen. Because again, what I say to people is this, and I'll repeat this afterwards. I'm never watching women's football. It's something that I'm never going to watch. But all because I'm never watching it doesn't mean that I need to now insult women's football or bring it down. That's just being trash. You cannot watch something, but that doesn't mean that you now have to insult it and now sort of bring in any kind of these like sexist comments, because then you're just being stupid. But this right here, this isn't shocking. This isn't shocking. Like, and a decent under-15 boys team destroys the best women's team because of the kind of physicality, the kind of basic physicality needed in football, and how that basic physicality, there is a gap between that basic physicality between boys and women. So forget about men. Let's not go there. But just with boys and women, it's not shocking. And here's the thing, guys. So people just say, take women's football seriously, take women's football seriously, you need to take it seriously, blah, 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 blah. That isn't from a porno. That's not from an adult film, bro. It's not. That is an actual player. You see, when I see an image like that, I'm not taking you seriously. I'm just not, And you can call me sexist, misogynist, and everything. If this image is from a sport you want me to take seriously, I am not taking your sport seriously. I'm sorry. When I look at that, I'm looking at, okay, is this a promo for a fashion shoot? Is this like Paris Fashion Week? Is this a porn? Whatever it is, because this right here is not sports. You're promoting something very different here. Sorry, you can't. But I want to just to even dig deeper into this. So this is from years ago. So in preparation of two upcoming friendlies against Russia, the U.S. women's national team played the FC Dallas Under-15 Boys Academy team on Sunday and fell 5-2, according to the FC official website. So this is seen as like the best football team in the world, the women's team, and they lost 5-2. And this was seen as a big deal. And again, I said again, A decent boys team would beat the best women's team. And that's not up for the debate. But what's actually even more interesting here is, so this is from Kylie Lloyd. So US OMC Kylie Lloyd shared one of her most embarrassing moments. I want to get back there. Representing the US when her team lost to the FC Dallas boys under-15 team. While answering questions on X, Lloyd was asked by one user, Kylie, is it true that you lost to a bunch of 15-year-old boys? I hate that how that is phrased. You see, people have it twisted here. So because this is the best women's team in the world, it should be viewed as embarrassing that she lost to a bunch of boys. No, it's not embarrassing. It's reality. And that is where people keep things twisted with how we now view women's football. Because boys run faster, are quicker, are sharper, are just do things at a much sharper, quicker rates than women do. So within the context of the football game, no matter how good those women are, the guys are going to run faster, are going to react a lot quicker, are going to dribble a lot sharper, and are just going to make a lot more quicker, sharper runs. And the reaction times are just going to be a lot more sharper than women are. So how it isn't embarrassing. The best women's team in the world should lose to a decent under-15 boys team. And this is the key thing, because do you know why? Women's football and men's football are two different sports. Which is why I say that I don't watch women's football, because it's not the same sport. It's just not the same sport. Doesn't mean I'm against it, doesn't mean I'm demeaning it. But as a guy who has watched football literally my whole life and is a passionate football fan, I cannot sit down and watch women's football because, bro, it's just not the same freaking sport. It's just not. And because what boys and men are doing and how they're playing the game is just at a much higher technical level and physical level than women are. So when I watch women's football, I'm like, no, this ain't the same sport. It's literally not the same sport. So again, how Kylie Lloyd said it's not embarrassing. Because why you say it's embarrassing is how we now have things twisted up in this world that we're living in, that, oh, why can't women? Oh, why can't women? Women should... No. Men and women are biologically different. This isn't my viewpoint. This is science. This is biology. This is simple scientific. This is just straight facts. Men and women, girls and boys are biologically different. And women and men should not be playing the same sport. They should not be playing the same sport. Hence why for a lot of these sports, that's where you have the men's section and the women's section, because it is unfair for a woman and a man to be playing the same sport. And what we've seen, it is super unfair for women and the boys to be playing the same sport. But I think people's concept is, well, these are the best women in the world. How are they listening to a bunch of boys? But what this shows is that a biological difference is still the same between women and even boys. And my thing here is, because people say, okay, so if you say this right now, how does this make the sports grow, women's sports grow, and women's football grow? And I see, guys, I'm the wrong guy to ask about this. I'm just not. When the Nigerian women play, I will always support them. Just it's Nigerian everything, so I'll always support the women's game for Nigeria and everything, just because I just think that it's just a good thing to support. But guys, on this channel, you're not going to be seeing me covering women's football. It's not happening. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, I take football too seriously and I care about the sport too much to now lie to myself and try to just do things just to appeal to whatever. I'm never covering women's football. I'm never commenting on women's football. And I don't care about women's football. But please, hear me out. All because I don't care about women's football doesn't mean that you should now start insulting women's football. Then people say, harmful. As a guy who runs a football channel, why don't you care about the growth of the women's game? Guys, do you want me to be real? Do you want me to be real? Grab a random woman from the street and ask them if they watch women's football. 9 times out of 10, most women you ask do not watch women's football. Most women you ask do not care about women's football. All the women in my family, my sister, my mom, my aunts, female friends, cousins, they don't care about football. They don't care about women's football. They don't. They don't watch it. Do a test. Ask your female friend. Ask your aunt, your mom, girlfriend, whatever, whether they watch women's football. I will swear to you, 9 times out of 10, they say they don't watch women's football. So if women themselves don't support the sport, why the hell should I? Why the hell should I? So if women at large don't care about women's football, why the hell should I? I'm sorry, I shouldn't. So in that sense, it's not going to happen. And you have to realize with this, I've been watching women's tennis for a long time. Way before the GOAT Serena was around. I remember I was watching it during the time of Steffi Graf, Lindsay Davenport, Martina Hingis. Because for me, I don't think there is a difference, but I don't think the difference between men's tennis and women's tennis is that great. So I'd watch the men. So whenever it was Wimbledon, I'd watch the men's final. No, so I watched the women's final, then the men's final, and I'd be watching both. And obviously, the men, they do it fast, it's all sharper. But I still enjoy women's tennis. And then when the GOATs, when Venus came in, I was like, oh, wow. Because once Venus and Serena came in, they just took the game to a much higher level. And I even enjoyed it even more because they just brought a speed and just a higher technical brilliance and intelligence to the game that wasn't there prior to them. So once Serena and Venus came, I got even much more invested because they just raised the quality of it. So for me, I love women's tennis as much as men's tennis, and I watch both. So that's my thing there. And I think for and Serena, you know what Serena said? They asked Serena, oh yeah, so would you face Nadal? And Serena said, heck no. Like, because Serena said that I would lose in straight sets to Federer or Nadal because they're stronger and faster than me. So no, I am not going to be playing Nadal or Federer because those guys, they destroy me. Because Serena, she knows that as outstanding as she is for the women's game, she knows that she does not hold a candle to the men and she would lose in straight sets. She said that I would lose in straight sets to Federer or Nadal because those are men. And physically, they're on a whole other level to me. So, and that's just fair. That's just fair, you know? And even to throw in as well, table tennis. I love table tennis. I love playing table tennis. I love watching table tennis. And whenever the Olympics go around, for me, I think there's even less of a discrepancy between the men and the women. Because when I watch the men play and the women play table tennis, I'm like, bro, it's exactly the same. So just the quality of it is exactly the same. So I love watching table tennis, whether it's men or women, it's both amazing. So, but the issue is for men's football and women's football, there's a massive difference. And I think, as you know, my second favorite sport is basketball. I don't watch the WNBA, and I never will. I don't give a flying crap about Caitlin Clark. I don't. I literally don't. I saw about a minute of her and I pressed stop and I threw up my laptop. I'm like, nah, I ain't watching this stuff. That's not to demean women's basketball, and I'm happy that it's growing. As a guy who grew up watching basketball, plays basketball, played in a basketball team, watched basketball religiously, and it is my second favorite sport. And Penny Hardaway is the freaking GOAT, not MJ. I'm not watching women's basketball. It's not happening. Because the difference is too big. Because when I go from watching the NBA and WNBA, I'm like, bro, this is not the same sport. As I'm watching the WNBA, I'm like, no, it's not. So even if you throw in a Caitlin Clark, I'm like, Caitlin Clark doesn't hold a candle to freaking SGA or Jokic or Doncic or Steph Curry or LeBron or Kawhi, you know, or any of these guys who are truly amazing. So when I just watch those guys in the NBA, and you now want to show me freaking Caitlin Clark or any of these guys on the WNBA? No, like it's no. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. So, but again, I appreciate what's it called? I appreciate the WNBA and everything because again, like as everyone knows, the best WNBA player is Asia Wilson. Like she is. Like obviously Caitlin Clark is like the new big thing, but if you really understand basketball in terms of just like basketball, how it's been played and all around, Asia Wilson is the best player. But as good as Asia Wilson is, I'm sorry, like the difference between her and an SGA or a Tyrese Halliburton or any of these top guys around, or even a Steph Curry or a LeBron now who are old, the difference is too vast. The difference is too vast. So I'm never watching WNBA. So same thing with women's football is, no, it's not happening. And here's the thing. I'll end it here. So I shared this with, because in our family WhatsApp chat, and this, bless my mom, and this is what my mom said. So this is the best from my mom. Never believed in or ever watched women's football. Just nonsense. Now I think that's harsh from my mom. But remember, my mom, she's Nigerian, African, old school. So from her lens, the very concept of women's football is completely and utterly stupid. Is completely and just utterly stupid. So again, for me, I don't agree with my mom in saying that it's nonsense. I think that's a bit so harsh because again, what's it called? So my best friend's wife, who was a best man, so my best friend's wife, she plays football for the Japanese women's team. So I can't now call it nonsense because that'll be insulting to her. So again, I'm not going to go and watch her matches or anything, but for women who now play football, I'm not going to just say, oh no, what you do is nonsense. Feel free, go out and play it and everything. And I think that you shouldn't hate on it. So I'm not going to come out and say to my mom that hey, it's nonsense and everything. But the reality is I'm never watching it. I'm never commenting on it. And so with the Euros coming in through now, I'm not going to cover the Women's Euros. When the Women's World Cup coming out, I'm not going to cover the Women's World Cup. It's not happening, bro. It's not. I watched the Women's World Cup final. It was cool. But again, I'm not watching that again, bro. It's just not happening. But all because I'm not watching it, all because I'll never watch it, doesn't mean that I have to insult it. And all I just say to you guys is, don't speak. Because I know for guys who watch the channel who are really into football, I know I'm not watching women's football and we don't care about it, But all because we don't care about it, doesn't mean you need to insult it. Doesn't mean that you need to be sexist. Doesn't mean you need to be misogynistic. It's just that we just don't care. It's not the football that we love, that we appreciate, ain't women's football. But all because it isn't, doesn't mean that you have to be crass. Doesn't mean that you have to be insulting. But it is what it is, man. But so again, don't have women play against boys, because those boys, at whatever level, will completely destroy the best women's team. And it is just what it is, man. Think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.